What is up, YouTube? KM888 here with the promised coverage video from my Worm deck profile on the regionals at Ghent. Now, I took first place there in a small regional. It was only single elimination, so I don't have many rounds to show for it. But I wanted to still show you guys because I promised it and I completely forgot about it afterwards. I know it's been a month ago, but I still have my papers with the entire scoreboard, so I'm gonna use them a bit as a guideline to remember some things and to still offer you guys a coverage. So yeah, as I said, it's from my Worm deck profile. If you haven't seen it yet, it is on my YouTube channel. I will link it in an annotation and down in the description below. So please check it out if you haven't seen it yet. So yeah, I'm gonna pick these together. I'm gonna show you guys the recap. It's a bit hard to see probably, so I'm gonna do it like this. First paper. My first round that I had to play was against a guy named Frey. I was playing Necros. Was a very good match. Game 1 I actually won after a really long time. We went in I think 30 or 35 minutes for game 1. He just couldn't get through my back row and I couldn't get through his monsters because they were too big. So it was kind of funny, but 30 to 35 minutes were really long for me. Game 2, as you can see, like after a couple of turns we already went into time, and yeah, back then I didn't have anything, so he kind of swept me from there, and at 6,200 life points time was up, so I was dropped to 0 and was 1-1. The problem with it was single elimination, so there were special rules that we had to play game 3, and it was also with a dice roll, beginning again, and he won the dice roll and yeah, stuff like that. He let me go first because he would have a 6 cards in his hand. It's pretty good for Necros, of course. We couldn't side as well, and we only had 3 turns, I think. 3 turns. And as you can see, I actually opened up really good because I opened Zex and Retaliating Sea, so I went Zex Jagen, and he went Kaleidoscope in his turn, and I chained the Retaliating Sea. He made the Unicorn and he crashed over my Zex to do some damage. That's the 500 damage you can see here. I remember that still. But because I had the Jagen to bounce back his Unicorn, I had the Retaliating Sea, and I still had a monster in my hands, I could push really hard here, like up all the way down to 3,800. And yeah, that was kind of the final blow for him. He couldn't do anything in his turn, so he knew it was game and he scooped it up. So yeah, that was pretty good for a game 1, round 1. I actually won against Necros. We went 20 minutes in overtime, I think. It was ridiculous. All the other players were already doing their second round, and some of them were finished before we finished our first round even. It was kind of bad for me because my second opponent, he already knew what I was playing because he was watching the match. So yeah, but so be it. The second match was against Clifford. I have a paper right here. My opponent's name was Anthony. The game it wasn't that long because he did damage to me like every single turn, but it was a really good match. Like game 1 was ridiculous. We did damage to each other all the way. My trap cards binded him down right here. He couldn't do anything, and I forced him down to 1,000. Then he got over it, and I couldn't do anything anymore. And well, as you can see, it kind of backfired from there on out. Game 2, I actually won that one. It was pretty hard. I remember taking a shot from a monster all the way down to 1,800, so I went down to 6,200 life points. I got over it, did some damage, and then he poked me once more before I finished it off. Right here, he didn't have any cards in his hands, I remember. So he just scooped. My field was too big, and he didn't have anything. He drew a death card, so yeah. Right here he began rather well. He began with an upstart, drew into the scout, which was stupid. He paid 800. I did a little bit of damage, then yeah, it just went on like this. Here I warning, I think. I went from 9,000 to 7,000. It's probably because of a warning. I remember I drew one in the final game. I already knew, because my hand was that great, that he wouldn't win that game. I had warning, I had 3 other back row, I opened Myrmelio and a fire hand in my hand, so it was just bonkers. I drew too well, and well, he did some damage right here, the 600, but was irrelevant because I wanted to take it so I could game him a couple of turns later, and I actually won, so 1-2. For the third match, we have... that player was actually from France, I remember. His name was Sylvain. And he was playing Infernoids, and as soon as I saw he was playing Infernoids, I really thought I was going to lose. I have a good side against it, but I know most of the time I'll lose game 1, so it really doesn't matter game 1 for me. And as you can see, it really was bonkers. I believe he opened up Monster Gate and Reasoning that game, so yeah, I was finished rather quickly. Game 2 was just the other way around. He opened up Reasoning, but I had to Retaliating Sea, and yeah, he milled like 30 cards. And when you do that in Infernoids against Retaliating Sea, you know you'll lose. And as you can see, it went down rather quickly. So yeah. And then game 3 was kind of special. It took a while to finish that one. I opened Retaliating Sea again, but he didn't have Reasoning, he didn't have Monster Gate. I was kind of fearing that he sided them out, but actually he didn't, because in turn like 6 or 7, he top decked into a Reasoning. I chained Retaliating Sea, he milled most of his deck, but he had enough resources in his grave already from the turns before, so he could recuperate a bit. And right here you can see he kept poking me over and over with a Tundle, and that was stupid. I couldn't get over it until I drew a Mirror Force, and right here I drew it. I made a Tundle disappear, his resources were all gone, and I actually won a couple of turns later, so I was so happy that I won right there, so yeah. And the last game, the final, was against Teller Knights. My opponent was Yuri from the Netherlands. Game 1, he misplayed against me because he had Ring of Destruction to kinda screw over my fire hand, but he didn't. And well, he was afraid of it, so he didn't do too much against it, and I kinda kept poking him, and well, it was game rather fast. Game 2 was a little bit more special because he opened up without any monsters. It was sad for him, but so be it. I opened up Zex Jaegen, and as you can see, I did 2,800 damage. It's just I flipped over my Jaegen, I poked with both of them because I didn't want... well, he didn't have any monsters, so I just kept poking him with everything I had. Here, the arrow D stands for the Ring of Destruction. He had Raigeki to clear my board of Zex Jaegen, and then I just summoned the Carteros. I added the Zex for my hand with the flip effect, and I tried to poke for a little bit more damage, but he went Ring of Destruction to kill my monster again, and he still didn't drew anything, he still didn't drew a monster, and yeah, it's the weakness of Stellar Knights, of course. If you don't draw monsters, you'll lose, and that's exactly what happened. He got some more damage, and well, it was over. Like right here when he had 1600, he drew into the Myrmelio, but I already had an established board, he couldn't get over it, and that was game. So yeah, there were only 4 matches, 4 single eliminations, and the Stellar Knights were the finals. I won that with 2-0, and the event was really awesome for me. It was a serious test for my deck in a long time because we're all meta matches, and my opponents definitely weren't bad players, so I was really happy with it. So yeah, thanks Ghent. Again, I'll post a link down in the description, and I wish you guys all a good day furthermore. So yeah, if you liked the video, put those thumbs up, smash in that like button, and if you want to see more content and you're happy about my videos, subscribe. I mean, it doesn't hurt. So yeah, see you guys. Ciao.